so glad you're all here. Hi, Alina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Can you see me?
Good. Sorry, I'm having a dog issue. So sorry about that. It's so happy to have you here. We've got some people joining. Did you just get off of school?
I did, yeah.
Are you doing Zoom school right now, or what's your school like? Is it remote?
Yeah, Zoom school. Everyone's on virtual right now.
Wow. Okay. So full day for you. Thank you so much for making time. My kids are upstairs also on Zoom. So just saying hi to everyone who's joining. We're you're one of the ones I'm so excited about sharing. First of all, the fact that you are 15 years old and a female and also a child who started a company. And I know it's probably not the right reaction, but when we learn that somebody has food allergies, you're one of our tribe. So, we know that you understand what it's like. And so we're always kind of excited and in some ways, pleasantly surprised when we learn that one of our verified brands also manages food allergies and so understands like firsthand the challenges that can be and how fun it is to discover products that are safe for you. So, I just to give a little bit of background, a few things. One is today, I'm just saying hi to everybody, sorry, trying to do the same time. So today, we launched a whole feature. It's in the app, it's on the front of our website, really telling the whole story of Alina and how she invented what seems like almost the impossible. I mean, really like the coolest, like why didn't anybody think of that idea at the age of 7? And so we do tell the whole story, a little bit of the story. I guess there's a lot to put in there. We did tell the story, but we wanted to bring you live because you're really special. Your story's special, and sometimes people like me like to just hear it versus read it, and just want to take the second to do that. So first off, thank you so much for coming on, for starters. Second off, for us, just to give us a little bit of background. I mean, I'm gonna start with a headline, if you don't mind. That your company was created out of an idea you had after your dad said no to you. So we, as a parent, that is so cool to me. And so we're not sure if we should say like, what's your secret sauce or what his secret sauce or your parents' secret sauce. But do you want to just take us back to that day when you were 7 years old and the idea came to you? Can you just share that with us?
Yeah, so when I was 7 years old, I was on a trip to the bank with my dad, and the bank teller offered me a lollipop. And my dad always told me, you shouldn't have candy because sugar is terrible for your teeth. So I asked him, well, why can't we make a healthy lollipop that's good for my teeth so I could have candy and it wouldn't be bad for me? Then, after about 2 years of research and plant trials, Zollipops were born.
So when you proposed it to your dad, did he say like we can't? Did he say why don't you invent it? Like what did he say to you?
Well, my dad was actually a little bit surprised at the idea, like, well, why can't we do that? But I've always been the kid that has had invention ideas since I was probably 3 years old. So this wasn't a new occurrence. My parents listening to me blab about how I have a great new idea for a company, but I never really did anything with it. I never really, followed through. But this time it was different. This time I had this idea and I asked my parents probably 100 times, when are we going to do this? When are we going to make these lollipops? This is something I really want to do. Like, how do I do it? Let's do it right now. Um, and so they say, I was bothering them, but it definitely turned into something that is very impactful. So that tenacity was very key in the creation of Zolli Candy. Um,
That's really
but
cool. Did you have any other ideas that you also invented, or is this your one that you focused your energy on?
this was the only one so far. Uh, I definitely have some ideas in the workshop, but you know, Zolli Candy really is something that I'm so passionate about that I love spending time on. So it's my main priority, along with school and everything.
Obviously, I mean, you're so busy, and I can only tell you as a founder myself, I meet a lot of founders and a lot of people with ideas, and there's no doubt this is your big first act. So that's part of why, obviously you're so passionate about it and you've come out with so many different products and we would expect more, from you, but it's actually just like an honor to know you and hear how you went from a 7-year-old who questioned your parent, which I love, to someone who created, this is the fastest growing candy company in the US, and you're 15 and you're doing so much. You've kind of made it, you've already done it. And yet I know there is a lot more that's going to come from you. No pressure, but it's evident. So thank you for, following through with that. And I think that as any startup, you've probably heard this. A lot of people will say things like, the idea is only part of it. It's the execution. It's like making it happen that creates the company. And so, you've done that, and that's so commendable. So, just to start with that, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I know you understand the struggle of starting a company, and the struggle of, doing all of that, at a young age. And you have kids, so you know how kids are. They're not always the easiest to work with, but in the end, they have some really good ideas, and they make things fun.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it's like to start a company at a young age because I'm not young, but I do know what it's like to have 3 kids. I have 3 daughters. I will say, if you start something, to follow through with it, it's so clear how passionate you are about it and how clear your vision was. And I think that you need that, to put so much work into it. And it obviously comes at the cost of doing other things. And I know you have a really full life, but it's just really remarkable what you did. So just to take a minute to just pause on that for a second, because it's really, really remarkable. So, just to go back to, this idea that you spent 2 years trying to figure out, how could you create this vision that you had, which was to create something that did the opposite to prevent cavities versus give cavities, turn your no into a yes. And so do you want to take us to a little bit about that? Like what was it, that you were able to crack the code on?
Yeah, well, in that span of 2 years, I did a lot of research on Google, YouTube, watching videos on how regular sugary candy is made, and kind of taking that process and changing it into something that could be used to create healthy candy. So taking that, sugary lollipop ingredient list and changing out the ingredients and creating a healthy candy ingredient list with the help from my dentist and my dental hygienist, who pointed me in the direction of our magic teeth cleaning ingredient, erythritol. And so, we since have, switched around the recipe slightly and, changed the way we made the product in what kind of, the steps to actually create the product. And it's just been a lot of workshopping within that 2 years. And that trial and error stage was where we were at. And then after, finally creating some candy that was edible and good to eat at least, we started, just trying to figure out, what were the most popular flavors for lollipops, what were the most popular colors, and trying to create a popular, blend of products. So it's definitely been a lot of trial and error, as I have said quite a bit. But after all of that, we really created something special, and switched to our first retailer, Whole Foods. And once we got in, we were feeling very confident. Whole Foods is a very large retailer, and to be in Whole Foods in Southern California was really exciting. And then from there, Amazon.com, Kroger, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, and Target. So we definitely grew rather quickly.
Yeah, just to step back to explain for a second, for you, you were committed to, creating something all natural. You're committed to creating something allergy friendly. You were committed to something that tasted good. All these, it wasn't just, something that could prevent cavities. It was all natural. It was, there was a number of criteria before even you got to the whole foods, because I think that's a really fun story and I want to get into that. But do you mind explaining? Can you take a second to explain exactly how does it work, given the plant-based natural ingredients you use? And I know that some of the formulation has changed, but can you talk about, how does that work in simple terms? How do we get in our head that this, giving our child, I think someone posted today that they're replacing breakfast cookies on our social media with the breakfast lollipop. And I know that, you took over our What I Eat in a Day, which was so fun. And I was telling my girls that you eat a lollipop after breakfast. So, will you just explain the science, in really simple terms to us? How does this not cause cavities? How does this prevent cavities?
Yeah, so Zolli Candy, like you said, isn't just not bad for you, it's actually good for you. And with our magic teeth cleaning ingredients, erythritol, after you eat anything, your mouth is very acidic, and that causes your tooth enamel to be very soft. But if you have a Zollipop right after you eat, Zolli Candy raises the pH in your mouth, and it neutralizes the acid, and so that allows your teeth to remineralize faster. Um, and basically what that means is it takes away the bacteria that causes cavities and tooth decay and brings the acidity level in your mouth to a normal level. So it has long-lasting health benefits by strengthening your tooth enamel. And so, you have one Zollipop right now, and it's protecting your teeth for years to come.
I have not gotten my Zollipops yet, but I'm going to get them, and I am so excited to try them because what a simple solution. And I think just, to recap it, you have when you eat the acid in your mouth, you have acid in your mouth, the Zollipop and the Zolli Candy, it raises the pH level, it neutralizes the acid, and it allows the remineralization and the hardening of the tooth enamel. So it prevents the cavities. Did I get that right?
Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily, harden your tooth enamel.
Okay.
But so, this is like the best way to describe it. Like after you eat something sugary or acidic and your teeth feel gritty and you
Yeah.
feel like you kind of want to like brush your teeth right after, you don't
Yeah.
want to do that because that grit is actually little holes burnt by the acid that you just ate. So it's little holes in your tooth enamel. And so you don't want to brush your teeth right after you eat anything. And this is a common debate between, whether you brush your teeth before or after you eat breakfast. You brush your teeth before, because if you brush your teeth right after you eat, you could brush off your tooth enamel.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, so if you eat Zolli Candy after you eat anything, it remineralizes those holes, so it fills your tooth enamel in and strengthens it.
Oh my gosh. I have a brother-in-law that's a dentist, and he's never told me this. That's amazing. You know what? It's one of those things that this is so informative, and I mean, you've made it. I think whenever there's a health issue in particular and a way to solve anything or make it better and do it in a very fun way. I mean, what's more fun than candy? Nothing. So I mean, that's just amazing. I'm very enlightened. I'm gonna have to rewatch this and show it to my husband and ask my brother-in-law, the dentist, why he hasn't shared this with me before. But that is so cool. That is so
Yeah,
cool. So how many lollipops do you think how many versions of it do you think you had to go through before you perfected it?
oh, so many. We just got bags upon bags of lollipop samples. And it was, probably, 20 different versions of the lollipops. And that doesn't even get into, trying for each separate flavor and, trying to then create the packaging afterwards. So it was definitely a lot of lollipops, and quite a few of them were not yummy at all.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But I mean, 20, I would think it would take me a lot more because I mean, obviously you're learning to make lollipops. I mean, what a fun job. And I'm sure you're very popular with your friends during that time.
Well, I was. when the candy started to get, edible, because at first, it was terrible. So, nobody even wanted to taste test that. But once it got into kind of the good stuff, then my friends were really excited to come over and try it.
Awesome. So maybe also before we get to Whole Foods, I know that you can't be 7 necessarily or even 9 by the time you perfect it and build the company, at that age. I know your parents are involved too, but you are the CEO, you are the founder. As your dad says, you're the boss. I love his quote. You could share it with us. But do you mind just sharing a little bit about just how a 7 to then a 9-year-old was able to like build a company? Like what role do your parents and your sister play?
Yeah, well, in the company, we're all very active. And for me, what I really took the role of CEO and product developer. So, when it came to not only developing the initial Zolli Pops, but then coming up with those ideas to create, the next products, the Zolli caramels, the new flavors, and everything in between. So it's definitely been a lot of coming up with new, fresh ideas that haven't been done or seen before. But also, probably since, or for at least 5 years, I've been going to, sales meetings, trade shows, have the meetings with all the big buyers. And so, I'm out there, being a salesperson and selling. So in addition to the internal aspect, I'm also working, really closely in marketing. I find that that's something that I really like to do, especially because, our demographic, although we're selling to moms, we're made for kids. And well, we're made for everyone. Anyone can enjoy Zolli candy, but we want to make it fun. We want to make it family friendly. And I think I bring something different, opinion-wise to the table, having that kid-like, curious perspective. And being in kind of a kid world and also an adult world, so I can pull knowledge from both and see what people want. And so, really from an entirety of the company aspect, I kind of do something from every place, except for accounting. I'm not that great at math, so I don't know. I leave that to our great accounting person, Larry. He he not only does our accounting, but when I have homework questions for math, he is more than happy to help. So
Let Uncle Larry help with that. That's awesome. That's so great. Well, I think, one of the things just to go back to for a second, the allergy angle and I just want to pause that for a second. So as you were developing the product, as you shared with me, you had a lot of friends who had food allergies. And so your food allergy story came a little bit later, but can you take us to the point where you were developing the product prior to you actually knowing you had food allergies?
yeah, so my best friend in the entire world, she has food allergies, pretty severe food allergies. And through her, I actually met some of my other, now close friends that have food allergies as well. So I kind of had this sort of network of friends that just happened to have allergies. And so, whenever these friends would come over, I had to be cognizant of what they could and couldn't have, so what to provide, for lunches and everything like that. I wanted to make sure, I was providing them with safe brands. And now looking back on it, Spokin would have been a great, it would have been a great resource for me when trying to figure out what my friends could have,
Yeah.
as for, brands and products. But knowing that my friends had these allergies and constantly having to think about them, when I was hanging out with them and things like that, and they would teach me how to use their EpiPen in case something happened, and so I was pretty prepared, and pretty knowledgeable on how this affected people, just like kids that were my age, and how it affected a lot of kids. I grew up in schools, and there was the peanut-free table, and a lot of kids have allergies.
Mhm.
And so when creating this product, I wanted to make sure that it was all inclusive. And so, my friends that had food allergies could enjoy this candy as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
I already knew they couldn't enjoy other stuff
Mm-hmm.
that I was able to have. So I wanted to make sure that it was all inclusive. And that doesn't just stand for the allergy perspective. I also wanted to create, an all-inclusive product for people who were diabetic or on a keto diet or doing some other type of lifestyle where they were restricted, especially on sweets. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so creating something that, still tasted good, but also was, um, you know, uh, not only healthy, but, all inclusive was really important to me. And
Mm-hmm.
it just happened to be perfect for when I found out I had food allergies. Um,
Yes.
so it was pretty convenient in that in that way.
Yeah, and I mean, just it's interesting if you just pause for a second because there's so many, young people who have food allergies, and as I'm listening to you, of course you have that perspective because those are your friends and you're empathetic at the time before you knew you had food allergies yourself. And I think what I'm hearing, just and any allergy moms out there or parents out there, what I'm hearing that's really hopeful is that as our children age and they're in the roles of running companies that they'll be really thoughtful and make decisions to be more inclusive. Whether it's our children who have food allergies or our children's peers who are accustomed to accommodating, making sure their friends are inclusive. And lucky us, that you were in this role at such a young age and had that point of view. And then you can share with us. You have a walnut allergy, so you are allergic to walnuts, but you do avoid all tree nuts. And you recently were diagnosed with an exercise-induced anaphylaxis to wheat. Do you want?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that just a little bit for us?
Yeah, sure. So, walnut allergy, pretty straightforward. Tree nuts are one of the most common allergens that you see. And so nothing too special about that, but it's funny how we found out about my exercise-induced anaphylaxis because it's pretty rare. Um, and, not a lot of people have heard of it, even in the allergy community. Not a lot of people know what it is. Um, and basically, I was having these reactions, but only sometimes. And I was like, well, what's the common factor here? So, working with my allergist and figuring out, um, how uh, how this could be happening. When sometimes I'm, eating the same foods, but then we found the common factor to be exercise because I'm a dancer and I'm on my school's pom team. So, exercise is pretty common in my life. And so, it was definitely tricky to get to the bottom of, but once we figured it out, it was not necessarily easy to navigate this new lifestyle. Just not eating gluten, and I'm thankful that I'm not celiac because I have some friends that have celiac disease, and oh, my heart goes out to them because it seems so hard to not be in contact with wheat products at all, especially living in a house with three other people that can have gluten. So
Yeah.
it hasn't really changed a lot family wise. My family can still eat what they want to eat, and then I eat what I want to eat.
Mhm.
So it's was just an adjustment, but I'm sure happy about it because I'm not having allergic reactions anymore. So
Yeah. Well, glad you're safe. That's wonderful. And it's great that your friends, even those with celiac, I believe, can have your products. And so, wonderful that you remain inclusive. So thank you for sharing that because I don't know how widely available that information was, not that you hide in any way, but when we were talking to you, we were so excited about the coolness of the product. And then you shared that I'm like, I always ask companies like, do you know anybody who has food allergies? And you're like, I have food allergies. So that was like, wow, we had no idea. And, for some reason, one, it makes us more confident in a lot of ways of buying product from a company that understands it firsthand. And also, we're rooting you on. We're rooting you on. You're one of us. So that's thrilling. So, one of the fun stories that I just want to share, I think you either have or you're super close to selling your 100 millionth lollipop. Is that true?
yeah. So that milestone is like very, very close. Um, if not, we may have already hit it. It's hard to keep track of all of the lollipops,
Yeah.
individually because, we can figure out how to track how many bags we've sold or, how many shipments we've sent out. Um, but it's hard to track the individual lollipops because there isn't, it's not always consistent how many lollipops are in each bag. It could be,
Yeah.
15, could be 16. So, you never can be sure.
Yeah.
But we have either hit it or are about to hit it, depending
That's
on
amazing.
if you're counting the odd ones out. But it's pretty insane that we've sold that many.
Yeah.
Um, and in addition to selling, 100 million lollipops, we've also given away, millions of lollipops, which is, um, in my eyes, I feel like that's even more of an achievement
Yeah.
that, we've been able to donate Zolli Candy to schools who sign up on our website, zollicandy.com, under the Million Smiles tab, where they sign up and then they get free Zollipops for their entire school. And in 2021, we committed, or for 2021, we've committed 4 million lollipops. So
Wow.
4 million smiles. So we're pretty excited about that. Um, and even though, kids aren't at schools as much, we still found ways to give the Zolli candy in the, I don't want to say goodie bag, but like in along with, kids' textbooks or science kits,
Mhm.
and everything like that. We've been able to uh, still have Zolli candy a part of schools this year. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, you're one step ahead of me because I was going to ask you that question because what what I was interested in how you got there, as you explained to me, was in researching how to create the product. You learn how the chronic issue of dental issues and tooth decay was the leading chronic condition affecting children. Is that right? And that's led you on this path to not only donate a portion of your profits, but also donate a product and help educate at schools because that's one of the greatest ways you can make an impact. So I think that's it's an unbelievable program. So anybody who's actually buying your product can also feel really good about that your company is giving back, to such a worthy cause. And while food allergies are on the forefront for all of us as one of the largest chronic conditions affecting families, there are many things that people are dealing with. And the fact that you're giving back to that cause in particular is tremendous. Just wonderful. And I think we all feel good about it. I think one of the things I was going to point out, given that you're almost at the 100 millionth or you passed it, is that I actually had not heard of your product. And I'm obviously in the business of knowing products. And I learned about you because I saw that you were on the show Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch, a show that Spokin was on, and I didn't know if I was going to be super excited or feel bad that I've accomplished so little compared to you. But it was when I first heard about the company and heard that it was allergy friendly, and I wrote it down as a company that we wanted to connect with. And then, ironically, you had a customer with food allergies reach out to you and say, do you know about Spokin? Can you be part of the Verified Brand Program? And the fact that we talked to you and your father, and the fact that you become a Spokin verified brand, to us, it's a commitment. Any company that's willing to do that is you are committing to the highest level of transparency. You are showing the allergy community how much. I mean, it's a little bit of work and to become verified, and obviously spend your time so we can share your story. But I really have to commend you because you're a huge successful company, and yet while you have so many initiatives, you've taken the time, you've invested to become Spokin verified to a community that is really needs you, and really excited to learn about your product. And I just want to take a minute and just say how grateful we are. We know that it's an effort, and it just shows how much you really care. And You guys are so mission-based, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. And to discover a new product, I don't know how many snacks anyone else's kids are eating, but it's all day long. And for some reason, a lollipop feels like the perfect thing to give because it takes a while to eat usually. So it's been like a go-to. And of course, we don't feel great as moms giving like a lot of sugar out, but now we can feel fantastic about giving out, lollipops.
Yeah. I mean, Zolli Candy really is, what we call the no fighting treat, because,
Yeah.
parents don't have to fight it. Parents don't have to fight with their kids about it. Kids don't have to beg for it because parents feel good about giving their kids something that's good for them. Um, and so it's definitely a win-win, for both kids and parents and grandparents too. I know at least my grandparents always get in trouble when they give us, treats and stuff. And then my parents are like, you can't give them candy, you can't give them sugar. Um, and so grandparents don't have to get in trouble either because they can just pull out the bag and say, nope, these are Zollipops.
Yeah.
These are good for your smile. You can't yell at me.
Right. Well, one of the funniest things you said to me when we were talking was, let's just switch to Halloween. And it's Halloween, and no matter what Halloween looks like, there is going to be candy. No matter if it's in your house, no matter what it's going to look like. Of course, there's going to be candy. And you said something that made me die laughing because you were saying, like, that house that's in like the neighborhood that's trying to be healthy, and they give out like a toothbrush. We had a neighborhood that we had a neighbor give out pennies growing up. And although that would be kind of fun now to get money, but still, you were like saying, do you want to be the house that gives out like the toothbrush? You want to be the house that gives out the lollipops, and you still want to be committed to giving something healthy. That cracked me up. That was so great. So, if you
Well, you always see that one house that's either giving out toothbrushes or carrot sticks or, something else that's not so fun. But Zolli Candy, it still has the same great benefits as the carrots or the toothbrushes, but it actually tastes good and it's candy. And a lot of people don't even realize, unless they are familiar with Zolli Candy, the brand, um, they have no idea that it's, actually good for your smile. And
yes,
so, we have a lot of people that are a little bit shocked. They're like, these are sugar free? I had no
yeah,
idea. Like,
yeah.
I didn't know that, these were actually good for your smile and these are sugar free because they don't look sugar free. They don't taste sugar free. And, they don't taste like they should be healthy for you, but they are.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you we're going to give them out this year for Halloween, or whether it's to our kids or to neighbors. But I'm really excited to have them. And I think if I can just close with one very exciting thing, you guys were incredibly generous. You're such a generous company, and you're giving out to 100 winners. 100 winners, giving out, 3 different candies and the golden ticket, which I'm not like, it's an in-store coupon, it has the golden ticket. So 100 people can win. So I wanted to say thank you. It's on our social. So anyone who's listening, please go to our social on our feed, and make sure you enter. You can enter by sharing the candy you want to try the most or the flavor you want to try the most. There's new tropical flavors that you guys just launched, which I know were challenging to have those beautiful colors and make sure that they were still natural. So I know you're super excited about that, but we want to get Zolli Candy out in there. In spite of all the sales, there's a lot of us who are unfamiliar. And so this is so exciting, not only to learn about it, to hear from you directly, a chance to win, and hopefully everyone can try them. They are free up. Can you tell us from an allergy perspective? Tell us about the Zolli Pops. Tell us about the allergens, what they don't have, and Zolli caramels. Tell us about that, and then we'll wrap it up and let you go back to studying.
Yeah, so Zolli Pops, they're all natural, sugar-free. They have all natural flavors and colors. They're gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, kosher, free of the top 7 allergens, nut-free. Um, I like named all the allergens, then I said free of the top 7 allergens.
You got it.
Man,
Yeah.
that's what happens when you go to school all day.
That's okay. You're good.
And they're keto friendly, diabetic friendly, and kosher. And then for Zolli caramels, they're vegetarian, not vegan, because they have dairy in them, chocolate. and then they are gluten-free, nut-free, and kosher, keto, diabetic friendly. And the Zolli Pops are soy-free as well.
And so just so everyone's clear, the caramels are made in a different facility than like the hard candies. And we have all of this information, everything that we put Alina on the spot on just now. All of the information's on the Spokin app on their verified brand page. So you can look on the Spokin app. Hopefully you've got the app. You can look at the app and you can see their answers to 22 allergen FAQs. And so we ask the questions about the facilities. We ask the questions about each of the allergens. We're very specific about each product. And then at every single product, you can see which the top 8 it contains, if any, if there's a warning label, what the facility it's made and is dedicated free of. And so what we find is companies as big as yours don't always have everything made in the same place. And what's so helpful is to actually understand by product. And so while, for example, the pops don't have any dairy, the caramels do, but they're not made in the same facility. And that's really, that kind of detail is saving us so much time, and it's all right there in the app. So please check it out. And if anyone has any questions, you can DM me on the app at Susie. That's my username. Happy to help. If we don't have the answer, we're happy to get to Zolli Candy, get the answers. But thank you so much for taking the time. I know this won't be our first time chatting, but for everybody, please go ahead. If you're on Instagram, check out Alina's What I Eat in the Day video that she posted yesterday. It's really fun. And especially anybody who needs to avoid wheat or celiac, she's got some fun products that you'll see that she chose. So really great. Thank you for everything. Say hi to your family for us. And,
yes, I will.
Okay, we'll talk soon. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you so much. And guys, make sure to write a review on Zolli Candy or any of the Zolli products on the Spokin app. It really helps out other people that are curious about the product. So make sure to write a review. We want to hear your feedback. And make sure to enter the giveaway, because we have some exciting products that we're giving away. And I mean, who doesn't love free candy? You guys got to enter the giveaway and follow me and at Zolli Candy on Instagram as well. And of course, keep smiling.
Yep. Well, we will with your Zolli Candy. So thank you. Have a great day, Alina.
Bye.
Bye.